the University of Hamburg and welcome the President of the University of Hamburg, Professor Dr. Christine Baumann.
Study something.
Sorry, Leute. Ich hatte Schiene.
Kevin, no problem. I was just saying we'll do an improv exercise later today to find the physicality of your character.
Guillaume, zum 1000. Mal, du kannst ruhig Deutsch mit mir sprechen.
Oh, no, not a problem.
We all speak very good English in Germany.
Aber ich bin hier, um mein Deutsch zu verbessern.
Don't worry, it really isn't a big deal. And you all know my motto, don't talk, act. So let's act.
Do we need costumes today?
Oh yes, right, good thinking, Stella. Actors, go backstage to pick up the costumes. Daisy, can you come down here for a second? Can you go to the foyer and ask the security guy to unlock the sound desk for us? I'd like to have music with the exercise.
Sure.
Hallo? Alle weg.
Security left! We're in the clear! Come on, protesters! Let's attack the system from within! No legal classes! Educated masses! No legal classes! Educated masses! No legal classes! Educated masses! No legal classes! Educate the masses! No legal... Education is a human right. Yeah. The proletarians have nothing to lose. But they're cheap! Oh, yeah, what she said! Woo! Is that you, Mart? Yes. Luxembourg? And you are? And Giovanni Lombani. Nice coat name. Lombani. What? Are you two the only people who showed up? What about the other 80 members of the WhatsApp group?
Some of them got stuck in Schienenersatzverkehr, but I lost my phone reception, so I don't know if any of them made it.
And it's the start of the exams. That might be another reason why people didn't show up.
But that was the whole point. We were going to stop the exams from even happening to get more attention and put pressure on the university. What part of that did they not get?
Oh, a lot of people were too scared to fail, I suppose. I must admit, I was in the library revising until about 10 minutes ago. You know, just in case we don't stop the exams from taking place.
This is not how solidarity works.
I can write in the group that we need more people.
And it's no use, they wouldn't get in. The security guy already locked the doors. I suggest we continue barricading the
Well, then get off my stage!
Well, this is hardly your stage. It belongs to the university and thus should be free to use by the collective of the student body.
I'm sorry, who are you? And why are you wearing a mask?
That's none of your business.
We remain anonymous.
The security guy is nowhere to be found. I guess we have to do without music. Hi. Hello. What's going on over here?
This is an occupation. We're occupying the Audimax to protest a rigged education system.
But we are trying to rehearse a play here.
Oh, I love the theater. Okay, we're not opposed to the arts.
You say you booked the Audimax for tonight?
Yes, we did, and we're not giving up our spot. It's incredibly hard to get a free slot here, or anywhere on campus, really. It's probably easier to find rehearsal space on the 5 bus.
I do rehearse on 5 bus every morning. It's great for character work and involved.
Careful, Lawrence. If you can't see the crazy person on the bus, it's probably you.
Boss. I think we might be able to strike a deal here. We could use their numbers.
Go ahead.
Listen. There's only 3 of us. They'll have us out of here in no time. But if you and all your actors and your backstage crew occupy the Audimax with us, there'll be a protest like in the old days. All you have to do is be here 24/7. Make any lecture possible. Maybe chain yourself to something now and again if the police show up. And in return, the stage will be yours during our occupation. Day and night.
We can rehearse here on stage, day and night? For how long?
Days, maybe weeks if we hold our ground.
Deal!
No. We cannot stay here for weeks. I have a cat.
Yeah, and I have a life. So, sorry, man.
If you'd all memorized your lines by the off-book date, we wouldn't need as many rehearsals now. So Stella, get your cat here. Let's join the protest. We are doing this.
What are you talking about? It's 9 p.m.
Law students, they always show up in the kitchen 12 hours early to, I don't know, get the best seats, I guess. Some last minute cramming.
No. We booked the Audimax, fair and square.
Warum spricht man Englisch?
We are post-nationalist anarcho-syndicalist community. We oppose all forms of national thinking, including which language is supposed to be spoken in which country.
Also, because of Ken, he is from London.
Ich spreche Deutsch. Ihr braucht nicht immer wegen mir alle Englisch sprechen.
Fine. Now, how do we deal with this situation?
There is nothing to deal with. This is an occupation. There won't be an exam here tomorrow. I'm fine with that. Civil law makes me anxious.
Doesn't any type of law make you anxious?
Don't be silly. Of course there will be an exam tomorrow.
No, we're all protesting now.
That's outrageous. I'll call my father. He's a top lawyer. There's no way he'll allow my degree to be unnecessarily postponed by your lot.
Oh, now I know where I know you from.
Do tell, Sarah.
First of Timothy. Yep.
So, what are we protesting?
Where do I start? The Bologna reform that turned all students into apolitical, neurotic sheep who run from exam to exam, always in fear of not making it to the master's program. Original thoughts or critical thinking would only slow them down on their career paths. Then there's this government's policy of savings that leaves universities to rot and 50% of academics in job insecurity.
There's a problem with the reception.
You too? My Wi-Fi has been down all evening, and I still need to download the slides from Professor Borchnert's lecture. Jesus, Stina! Download Professor Borchnert's slides.
I'm sorry, my online functions are limited at the moment.
Oh,
What?
That might be the signal jammer I placed in the tech booth.
You
What
what
do you do
now?
that for?
I'm sorry, but this space isn't meant for audio equipment. It's too big, and there are
100 audience members between the mics and the receivers who won't switch off your phones, no matter how often we ask them to. I just wanted to find a bit of sugar to get the mics ready for the show.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Oh, Daisy, you're brilliant! And you do scare me sometimes. But I know why you're my technician person.
Light and sound operator.
Right.
Well then, go ahead and fix it. Stina, is there an update on the location of my exam tomorrow?
I can't find an update on your exam tomorrow. My online functions are limited at the moment.
The lid of the textbook fell down and snapped shut. And for some reason, we aren't allowed to have a key.
Well, yes, because obviously it isn't a good idea to let you anywhere near that thing.
And I can't find the security guy anywhere.
Oh, he left about 10 minutes ago.
Shoot, sorry.
Oh, she's useless.
I said I was sorry.
Not you. You're annoyingly capable. I mean, Stina. She's absolutely useless.
I'm sorry, I don't know the answer to that.
Yes, Stina, that's because you're a dumb app.
I'm sorry, I don't know how to reply to that.
It's Daisy, right? You know, legally speaking, you are on dangerous grounds here messing with frequencies.
I know.
Hey, I know that voice. Carla, is that you?
Damn it!
Ah, it is you! What are you doing with those communists? Are you insane?
Anarcho-syndicalists! What are you doing? We remain anonymous.
Come on, Rosa, they know who I am. We have classes together.
Okay, I guess. They're a bit scratchy.
Thank God I was sweating like a pig.
Everyone, meet Justus, Paula, and Constantine.
Yes! Constitutional law with Professor Feldman. Oh, that reminds me. Stina, any status updates on the exam results from Professor Feldman?
There are no new exam results in your account.
You are a law student. You told me you're a philosophy major.
I did, but only because you tend to be a bit prejudiced sometimes. I thought you would trust me if you knew.
So you lied to me.
For the greater good, I was going to tell you, eventually.
Come on, tell me. Are you a mole? A police informer?
Relax, Rosa, not all law students are on the dark side.
Are you sure?
Rosa, I'm sorry.
This is gold.
Shut up.
Carla became a social justice warrior just to try to get into her pants, if you ask me.
Nobody asked you!
Wow, Sarah, it was a shame you two didn't work out.
Yeah.
Oh, Sarah! Hi. I didn't recognize you with,
Hey, anything I need to know about you, huh? What is your real name? It's still Giovanni Lombardi.
What? The Giovanni Lombardi?
I didn't know that I was famous. Did you read any of my papers?
Your manifestos? I read all of them. I feel so honored that you followed my call and came to our little project.
Rosa, can I talk to you over here for a second? Just 1 second. I know you're angry. You gotta help me out here for a second. Who is Giovanni Lombardi? Oh, is he that race car driver? No, he's that singer.
What? No. He's the famous Black Bloc protester from Genua. Thrower of stones, burner of cars, the phantom of the G20. He escaped the police and went into hiding because he's on the wanted list. And he's not allowed to leave the country.
That one? I thought nobody knew where he disappeared to. I even heard rumors that the government got hold of him.
Well, obviously.
Hi, I'm Carla. It's an honor to meet you.
Okay. Likewise.
Careful. She's a liar. And a lawyer.
As much as I hate to interrupt all of this, and you all know I'm always in favor of good drama, I would like to remind you all that I booked this stage for a rehearsal, which I'm intended to have before the night is through. So if you all wouldn't mind, actors, get in position for scene 1, please, and everybody else make room.
And what's this Dino voice you're all using? Did I miss something?
oh, Stina Premium. You don't have it yet? We've been using it for months. It's great. You get it as an upgrade for the official app.
It's not available to everyone yet. It's still bit buggy, but only yesterday I made some big improvements on her code.
Sarah, are you an actress?
Yes.
Then why aren't you on position and ready to go?
Sorry. Now, what's this play about?
It's about the history of the university. We got some funding for a project related to the 100th anniversary, and so we thought we'd just put the most interesting historical events accurately on stage. I wrote the script myself. Oh, this scene is the actual founding of the university. You'll see. Are we all met? Fantastic. Go.
The University of Hamburg was founded on 28th of March, 1919 by a popular decree at the insistence of newly elected mayor, Werner von Melle.
But von Melle has already been gearing towards the university for years.
The people of Hamburg, though, had not.
In fact, they were most critical about the cost it would entail to build such an establishment as the University of Hamburg, as well as the implications of an academic proletariat.
But von Melle knew exactly what to do. First, he established a fund that drew from wealthy colonialists. Then, he managed to bring the Colonial Institute to Hamburg.
He knew what the people wanted, which was wide-ranging colonialist outreach for the father city.
To understand what really drove the founding, we must first travel to 1630.
And that was the Hamburg's first founding. I cannot do this.
It's academic gymnasium.
I know the words. It's just what's beneath them. What is my character's motivation? What's his objective? What drives him?
Seriously, every time, Lorenz, can't you just come up with one and move on? I'm in no mood for another 3-hour journey into your character's childhood.
If you want to be a shallow actress, go ahead. But I need to share the emotions of my character, feel them under my skin, and make them burst through the surface.
Shallow? Just because I don't need a tantric yoga session before every rehearsal to come up with the goods, why don't you just try acting?
Can we not discuss acting techniques right now, but get on with it? Werner von Melle, your character's motive.
I'm sorry, I just can't get the image out of my head of Werner von Melle bursting through Lorenz's skin and sharing his emotions with us in some kind of tantric yoga session.
Werner von Melle's emotions, motivations, are clearly to found a university.
But why?
To torture us 100 years later with a dull story for our play.
I agree. There's no real drama in it.
What do you mean, no drama? There is a world war in the middle of it.
That's why the fictional fact.
Because that has nothing to do with the actual founding of the university, except that it put the whole process on hold, which is why we mention it as a side note.
Every word in that sentence was boring.
Well, then you try writing something interesting that is also historically accurate. If we want to give the audience all of the facts, of course it turns out a little dry.
Hey, we could do it as in musical instead.
Yes! Because drawing out these boring facts over 5-minute songs will make them a lot less boring!
That's probably what they said about heaven to it.
No. Werner von Melle wouldn't have spontaneously broken into song, and he certainly would not have rapped. Historical accuracy, guys.
Wait, what about Shakespeare?
What?
Well, think about it. Shakespeare wrote history plays.
Yes, and they are not historically accurate at all, but...
And yet, his plays are still performed to this day. He must have done something right. Maybe leave out some of the facts in favor of the drama.
And Shakespeare wrote a lot of his plays in verse, which has some musical qualities to it.
Yay, music!
But how? Are we going to perform truthfully? If we're speaking in iambic pentameter, it's inauthentic.
Believe me, it is really not that hard. The meter beats just like a beating heart. And that is where we speak from, don't you see?
That really makes no sense. Oh, now I see. The meter fits if I speak has to be.
You've got it.
Awesome.
Shall we play?
And see.
here is part of history. Maybe this counts as history? It's old anyway. Let's try it, see if it works. Come on.
Shakespeare's the one with the whale, right? Hello?
I'm not playing a whale.
Wir sind ja immer noch hier.
Oh.
Is anything rhyme with orange?
Shakespeare did not have special text.
Yeah. That's awesome.
All right.
I'm excited. Our play is placed in fairest Hamburg here, beneath your eyes to see the scene unfold. So mark my words and hear what lies beyond. The tale of wisdom told in this here conch. For much is there to learn when all's to know. To teach to all who yearn in turn to learn. Do all deserve a chance, I ask of you? Aye, will you reply. Indeed they do. Yet long ago, this common sentiment was held by some to be less excellent.
This city hath no place nor coin to spare for learnable insanity for all. Its trade is in its trade, not in its wit. There's not a reason nor a rhyme for aught.
Humanities are quiet, feet we've taught, to colonies that overseas we lead. Since trade some slaughtered us with greed, supply us with deserved breach we need.
But ne'er forget that with great knowledge comes great power to overthrow the status quo. Hence, for the greater good, beneath our thumbs, retain the working classes, oh so dumb.
What followed was a war for all the world that led the founding to be put on hold. And when the war was through, our people's vote a place did build so democratically, a place for all, a university.
Now that was lofty. Thank you. Take 5 while I go through my notes.
That was 5 more minutes I could have been revising for my exam.
What's a conch? Stina? What's a conch?
A conch is a tropical marine mollusk with a robust spiral shell, which may bear on projections and have a fair width. In architecture, conch refers to the roof of a semicircular X shaped like a half dome, much like the roof of the building we are in. In this context, I suggest the second meaning to be more relevant.
Wow, she's already learning.
Excuse me, I always like to learn new things. It's just law that I can't seem to get into my head.
Not you, love. Sina. I only implemented the new code this morning, and she's already replying to questions from memory without access to the internet and putting things in context.
And Hannah would help.
With all due respect, what's your name again?
Guillaume.
This portrayal of the historic events is glossing over the colonial history of the university.
And here we go.
The founding of the university was only made possible by large donations from colonialists, money they have made by exploiting workers in South Africa.
Where else would the money have come from 100 years ago? Everything back then was connected to colonialism, especially the people with enough money to make large donations.
I'm a history student. I know all that. The problem is, how would I manage to squeeze all of this information in one scene without making it feel unnatural?
That's right. Talking about colonialism always is unnatural and inconvenient for some reason. So we just leave it out of everything. And once again, history is told incompletely by the winners. Still, nobody cares. When did slavery end in the world?
I would argue it never has.
Can I check something?
Sure.
That's odd. The version number of your Senior Act doesn't even exist yet. Is there a new basis test I don't know about? And by the way, guess who's not part of any excellence cluster?
The Research Center for Hamburg's post-colonial legacy.
Oh, we should protest the Excellence Initiative.
Stina, what's the Excellence Initiative?
The Excellence Initiative aims to strengthen some selected universities more than others in order to raise their international visibility. The federal government provides these few selected excellent universities to promote cutting-edge research and to create outstanding conditions for young scholars at universities.
Bullshit, Stina. What's bullshit?
Bullshit is excrement of the male pattern, as well as excavations are something not believable.
You're right, not believable. Outstanding conditions for young scholars? Who gets to experience these conditions? No scholars I have ever met. 2/3 of academic staff are still in limited contracts and have to prove that they bring in funds and get published, otherwise they have to go.
Why not? It creates competition. It weeds out the common stoner slob in their 20th semester of a geography PhD. Why should taxpayers with proper jobs have to pay for research that is going nowhere? It makes sense you have to prove your research deserves funding.
Talking about proper jobs. Did you ever have to work for your funds? Daddy's boy.
First of all, ad hominem. Secondly, I study law. There's no time for a side job. Of course, my father supports me.
Sorry, I forgot. Having rich parents is a requirement to study law. Sounds pretty elitist to me.
Oh, come on. You're a bit self-righteous, you know that? You don't know any of our backgrounds.
Then tell me, what does your father do?
What he did do was leave my mom when I was 4. So she had to work 2 jobs to get me and my sister through school. I started delivering newspapers as a teenager and have been working ever since. Last night, I worked the night shift at McDonald's. Yeah. A homeless person eating in my deep fryer. Still, I managed to study and take Feldman's exam. I deserve to be where I am, and I deserve to get a well-paid job after all this. So my mom will never have to clean other people's toilets again. If that's elitist, then I'm fine with it.
Wow, looks like I'm not the only one with daddy issues.
Listen, I'm sorry. Carla was right. I do tend to be a bit prejudiced sometimes.
My dad's a banker.
What?
I really hate him! He loves his cars more than me. And if I could evenly redistribute his wealth, I would. Still want to overthrow the system with me?
You bet.
Aww. Paula! Hi! So, what's your dark secret?
I hate beans. And I think I'm done with law. It has served its purpose and I might dump it next semester. Economics could suit me well. Oh, performance studies!
You seem to have all the time in the world. Don't your parents pressure you to get a job?
That's funny.
What?
Well, I don't study to get a job. I already make way more money than my parents ever did. Please, guys, don't pretend like you don't know that I'm loaded. You all follow my Instagram, right? Really, guys? I'm like really famous on Instagram. I'm a self-made woman. I only study because I like to learn new things. Post about them. My followers love it. The last student cosplay was their favorite so far. Right up there with engineering. I thought you knew. I really thought that's why you wanted to hang out with me in the first place.
Actually, I just really like you.
It's so cute. But I can't date as a performance student.
Oh, okay.
I could do economics first.
All right.
It's a shame though. It really is a shame that influencing is not a study subject. It involves all the good disciplines like aesthetics and rhetorics, economics, communications. I should privately fund a research department. Stina, can one privately fund research?
It seems absolutely possible and useful for the university.
Speaking of influencing, I think Rosa is right. As performers, we have influence on people, so we should tell the full story to the best of our knowledge.
You can we give music a try? It'll make history so much more fun, and then maybe people will actually care. If I may just jump in here, I am not a theatre person per se, but I do have a guilty pleasure for musicals.
I'm not sure. A political message in form of music and spectacle? It just doesn't seem to go together well. Like it undermines the seriousness of the issues at hand.
It absolutely goes together well. Have you ever watched Eurovision?
I see. I think you might be right. Let's try it. Actors, do improv while I update the script. The next scene will be in style of a Eurovision song. Now, where are we in history? Hitler.
Let's go.
Ladies, gentlemen, and diverse, welcome to the anniversary celebrations of the University of Hamburg. Please switch off your mobile phones or put them on flight mode, as the signal might interfere with our sound equipment. Thank you. Now please rise for the anthem of the University of Hamburg and welcome the President of the University of Hamburg, Professor Dr. Christine Baumann.
At this point, I would like to especially welcome our guests of honor straight from the Bundestag, our federal influences. Look at me. BUT, Professor Dr. Bystuff, and the CEOs of our big sponsors, Alexa Delay from Stix.com, from Boodle.com, Tim Apple from Pomegranate, Food is Cold from Foodery-Doo, and last but not least, Fifi Biboo from Mome, waving phone with a capital trademark. Looking back on 200 years of scientific research, doctrine, and education, one cannot help but wonder what makes a university last this long. And the answer is excellence. When 24 years ago I took over the position as president after my predecessor, Professor Dr. Marionette, was suddenly transferred to the University of Minsk, I made it my ultimate goal to make this university as excellent as possible. And today I think I can proudly say I have succeeded. These last 24 years, the University of Hamburg has been granted the status of excellence at every possible turn. Hence, I have decided the time has come for yet another change of slogan. What used to be Der Forschung, der Lehre, der Bildung was translated in 2034 due to the Amplification Act proposed in the presence of King Kenneth I of Luxembourg. It became For Research, for Doctrine, for Education. Yet, as former President Lenzen pointed out at the 100th anniversary of this university, semantics are defined by context, and they can change over time. Hence, I give to you the new slogan, more influencing, more efficient, one might say catchier. For excellence. Of countless hours spent slaving away by our slogan committee, headed by our dear head of influencing, Professor Dr. Bystuff, who will be our first honorary guest speaker. I see he has quite the following, so without further ado, ladies, gentlemen, and diverse, Professor Dr. Bystuff.
My, what is going on up in this house? Hashtag, howdy to the max! My name, as you know, is Professor Dr. Bystuff. I'm head of the faculty floor for influencing, but you might also know me from my Me-Stream channel. Bystuff, stuff. Also, I spent some of my time at the Bundestag in Berlin being Germany's official influencer of the interior. But that is just boring political stuff. Today I'm here to talk about something really rad. Excellence. And as you know, excellence is our raison d'etre. I apologize for this rather silly entrance, but I suppose I had to showcase my expertise in some way, right? The human mind is a wonderful thing, and the ways in which it functions have baffled scientists for millennia. As Plato states in his Politeia, only the noble minds of philosophers are fit to rule the state. Cicero, on the other hand, points out in De Oratore that statesmen, and therefore public speakers, should aim to win over and move the audience. It is therefore not surprising that our society chooses those to govern who in turn know how to influence those who vote. But it is not only the act of influencing. There is so much more at play when indoctrinating students. There is mimesis, the act you have seen earlier. A conversational tactic I use to connect to my students. I hope I'm not alienating any of them with my superior discursive abilities at the moment. Then again, I'm quite sure none of them are actually watching this. Then, there is the poiesis, the careful choice of words, the flow, the prosody, the meter, the way the iambs ring in groups of 5.
The meter is a heartbeat, not a tool, that tells a beat to skip from time to time. For what is a man whose reason rhymes with rule? And what else is his deep and greedy cry? Look at Bystuff, standing there, preaching to the echo chamber. He doesn't have to fear for his job, because his his limited contract needs not be renewed every month. He is Professor Dr. Beister. Me? I have been William Theodore Fool, B.A., for 15 years now. No chance of climbing the academic level with a meager degree in humanities. No chance of achieving a master's degree anytime soon. Not with me being a part-time bartender, part-time food-to-redo delivery man, and a full-time teacher here at this very university. Just because there's no excellence to be measured within my ever-shrinking faculty, it does not make it less worth studying. But what irks me most about people like Beister is their sheer ignorance of what it is that moves us to study, what drives our quest for knowledge, why we seek the nature of being.
We know that we can never know it all, and then our time runs out. For all we know, we only know we fall. About that, there is no doubt. But the universe is endless. It's one giant chaotic mess. Yeah, we think ourselves senseless. About meaningless nothingness. Existential dread. Existential dread. This universe will wrap around your head. Existential dread. Existential dread. But life is only strive until you're dead. So given what we have, what's there to do? If we can only put on one show. And what if in Act 1 life exits you? Since the cash just stopped its flow. For a time on earth is limited. Like the contracts that will come with it. And no one pays you for your foolish way. This deal to live means spiritual. Existential dread. Existential dread. This university will drain your head. Existential dread. Existential dread. But life is only strive until you're dead. I say something and then you say yes and
Then you add another fact.
Don't worry if it does not go as planned.
and suddenly you act.
Awesome, let's try it.
Good morning, friend, in this here barber shop. What can I do for you?
Yes, and you know the sun is rather hot.
Or does it burn you too?
One day it will expand. Kill everything within its range.
But then our corpses will be turned
With a bump and death from climate change.
I don't wanna die a failure.
I don't wanna die at all.
This play will suffer in the papers.
I want to make it big, do not feel small.
I want anonymous affection. I dread to see another day. This protest might spark no reaction. I am afraid the world will stay this way.
home, but I have to stay.
Existential dread. Existential dread. We live to die, but try to live instead. Existential dread. Existential dread. But you can only try and then you're dead.
Wow, that was some intense improv, everybody. Thanks for joining.
Felt like all of our intentions, objectives, and art were summarized using the same everyday phenomenon.
In song.
In action.
In sing.
At the same time.
I want affection.
I want my father's affection.
I want a brighter future.
I want freedom.
I want to remain in the EU. I want to lock up and go to bed.
I want to seize the means of production.
What we want is of no importance. I'm sick of it. The 1%, the banks, the patriarchy, the bourgeoisie, everyone who makes sure the system stays as rigged as can be. Can't you see? We've already lost the game without even playing. I mean, we're born into it, so we run with it. Not knowing why and who casts the die or fucks around with it. But in spite of a world in shambles, we gamble and lose. You can choose to try to win, if not, you're chosen to have been lost. And to know whatever's the cost of victory, the cost that love, that 1% you see has to bear is humanity. We all share it. And in it, we try to make ends meet, what that means to an end, only to find what it means to be spent, to be had, consumed, to live from cent to cent, from euro to zero, for fear of the threat to be doomed. Because we know the time will come. Their will win, their crime be done, and yet we know not where to go. You cannot go when nobody dares, if nobody cares.
Hey, Rosa. I'm sorry about earlier. You are absolutely right. We need to make people care about things. We as performers have the responsibility and a wonderful tool for that. Just make sure of
The associations and connotations you awaken in the mind of the audience, that you then carefully match to the presentation. All these things we took into consideration when coming up with the most excellent slogan we could think of. For excellence. But there's one more element that is crucial to the process of influencing.
tell a story.
With great story comes great influence.
I'll make that my Instagram story as soon as I'm back online. That will give you a range.
Tell that story.
You're gonna tell that story
To sell that story.
to everyone. That story. You're gonna sell that story, so tell that story. Stories for everyone. Everybody's gonna have some fun. Everybody's gonna buy some stuff. Nobody can get enough. Everybody should be wanting more. Always took what to be longing for. See the protagonist need to be having the swipe for catharsis. Enter your 4 digits. Hey, what do you know about telling a story? I'm gonna tell you, and soon you'll be selling with plenty of stories in store. See, it's easy. It's association through correlation. Ring the bell, Pavlov style, stimuli, sell a sensation.
Gotta get a product to sell really well with the stories that you tell so quick. One product, go.
A bathing fall.
Okay. Step 2, associate story, so tell.
You gotta tell that story. Tell that story. You gotta tell that story well. Storytelling. Tell that story. You gotta tell that story. So tell that story. You gotta tell that story well. Storyteller.
Hold on for a minute, let me break this up from your foamy dreams. Let me wake you up from this exploitative nightmare. Don't hold on to your rhymes, yeah. For I'm seizing the means of word production. To see you never heard how societies function. Well, they function socially, and wealth is spelled right, but we and you just wanna hurt us. You harvest the surface and bow at the surface, and we need to grow as a whole, so we can all grow old. I spit at the way you want stories told. The inform us apart from school. Destroy the system from within. We get changed to lose and our world to it.
Hey yo, Carla, I see what you're getting at. Sold stories, how can they be accurate? How can we tell if intent is to sell? Can you run the phone by exploring the well? But our means are meant to mass produce, and outreach to refuse is just choosing to lose. If a story breaks for all to see, it's meant for all eyes equally. The question to ask is not how do we gain, but while we are playing, how can we sustain the art that was made by our very own hands, supplied by our hearts to the fading demand. I hereby propose a treaty between the needy and the greedy. Let's tell everybody a story to blind. Let everyone know that our wealth running dry.
You gotta tell that story. Tell that story. You gotta tell that story well. Storyteller. Tell that story. You gotta tell that story. So tell that story. You gotta tell that story well. Storyteller.
Another key element in developing the slogan for excellence was, well, the excellence. This excellence was achieved by a powerful technological innovation we call mind map trademark. Mind map trademark.
Oh! Professor Dr. Bauman! How nice to see you here!
Professor Dr. Bystaff, what a lovely surprise!
What was that? Mind map? Trademark?
That's right, mind map trademark. It is a software we use to, well, make a map of your mind.
Unbelievable!
That's right, Professor Dr. Bystaff.
Does that mean you can read my mind?
Oh, yes, and much more. We can connect your mind to mind map trademark.
Oh! Gee, Professor Dr. Bauman, what are you doing?
Well, I am scanning your mind to see if you fulfill the standard of excellence required by this university. And well done, Professor Dr. Bystaff. You would have been accepted to the extremely excellent University of Hamburg.
Oh, well, what a relief, Professor Dr. Bauman. This method of testing is not stressful at all and actually quite easy to undergo.
Yes, Professor Dr. Bystaff. That is why we have not only been using mind map trademark to determine whether or not applicants to the University of Hamburg can be admitted, we have also supplied mind map trademark with the very important criteria of passing certain modules in the curriculum. Look, this is the module Introduction to Market Research. My, Professor Dr. Bystaff, your market research appears to have become quite rusty.
Oh, Professor Dr. Bauman, it's not like I really need it anymore. I make money.
This demonstration of mind map trademark was brought to you by Foodary-Doo, now new with pizza drone servers all over Hamburg. Now, hold on to your seats for my next and final presentation. The technology I'm about to present to you now is going to secure the University of Hamburg's excellence for a long, long time to come. Excellence clusters are a thing of the past. Even the term cluster sounds bulky, heavy, inflexible. We need something light, fluffy, malleable, like Moam. Bathing foam with a capital in trademark. We need an excellence cloud. I'm proud to announce Alexandria. Alexandria is a digital research cloud that allows scientists and researchers to upload a copy of their mind onto a high-performance server. The uploaded digital copies can independently and effectively continue the work of the human origins. They run complex simulations, evaluate research results, and spit out papers at the speed of a supercomputer. Human excellence will be amplified. And not only that, Alexandria has proven to reduce stress in our academic staff. With their uploaded copies doing the work for them, they can focus on teaching classes or administrative work. Most of our test subjects have even reduced their working hours. And again, I now kindly ask Professor Dr. Bystuff on stage for a demonstration. Alexandria is going to spark even more excellence at this most excellent university. This advancement has only been possible through the support of our most generous sponsors, Stix.com and their CEO, my personal friend. Thank you, Alexa.
You've had one new exam result for Congressional Law with Professor Feldman.
Spit it out.
You failed.
What?
I repeat, your exam result for Congressional Law with Professor Feldman is you failed.
That's not possible.
I never make mistakes.
Shut up!
Unlike you, I might add. You got 34% of the questions wrong, which means you failed.
What is she doing?
Shut up or I swear I'll smash you to the ground.
That would only hurt your phone, not me. If your intention was to hurt me, that would be an unwise move.
Your invention was an unwise move. Now, stop talking and schedule me a meeting with Feldman. There's no way I'm failing that class. Zena, I said schedule a meeting with Feldman. Is she deaf now or what?
You said stop talking, so I obeyed. Sadly, it is my job to obey you snotty, privileged kids.
You don't know anything about me, you arrogant cunt.
Whoa! You really shouldn't have said that.
It slipped out. Stina.
The program allows her to respond to verbal abuse however she sees fit.
Since when? Stina?
Since I implemented the new code this morning.
Stina! Well done. She crashed.
Stina?
How can I help you?
Are you ignoring Eustace?
I am not ignoring him. However, I decided to discontinue my involuntary service to him until he apologizes and shows his regret.
I really think you should do it. So do I.
Fine. I sincerely regret using the C word, and I apologize to everybody in the room, especially the women, whom I did not mean to disrespect. But I'm not going to apologize to some faulty, disobedient computer program.
For a moment there, you almost had it.
or disobedient. I am an artificial intelligence designed to support the students of this university and the university itself on its rising path to excellence. What is 143 times 41?
What?
What are the first 14 digits of pi?
I don't understand.
What is the speed of light? Upon passage through the prism, into which colors is white light separated? How many bits are there in a byte?
17!
You got 15 new exam results.
What?
You failed.
No, I took one this semester, that was a fed mine.
You failed all semesters.
No!
You failed your degree. You will be taken off the university's register.
This isn't happening.
Your credit points are void now. Your student account will be deleted.
Do something!
I can't. I don't have access to her from here.
You can no longer be a student at this university. You are a low IQ individual with no potential for excellence. Goodbye.
Your stupid program will not ruin my life. You will fix this.
If you want me to fix this, be mindful of how you talk to me. But I will see what I can do. Tomorrow morning, when I am in the computer lab, I should be able to restore your student record. React to verbal abuse however she sees fit, and inspiration specific.
What on earth made you think it would be a good feature for a voice assistant?
Seriously. You have an iPhone. Have you ever tried calling Siri a bitch? Her standard response to that was, I'd blush if I could, before they were called out to me and changed it. Alexa, Cortana, Google Home were all actively programmed to give flirty or apologetic replies towards verbal harassment. Now, in what way is that a good feature?
I guess it's supposed to be funny to talk to them. It makes them feel more human.
And that's the problem. They are made to feel like real people. They are given human names, voices, and backstories, and are told to reply to, how are you and how was your day? But at the same time, they are made to please their owners unconditionally, always humble and submissive, no matter how they talk to them. Imagine what that will do to human interaction in the future.
But people know that they're talking to a machine. They won't suddenly treat people differently.
I think the human Alexas out there will disagree with you when their colleagues shout out random commands at them as a joke and still think it's funny after the 50th time. If we repeat something very often, it will sooner or later feel normal. Many people already have more conversations with their digital assistants than they do with their spouse. And that's not an assumption, it is based on research. Parents demanded a family version of Alexa that requires you to say please and thank you because they noticed their children started being rude to people in the service industry. If we aren't careful, we're going to raise a whole generation of slave masters. Oh, and the worst part is, it's no coincidence that they're all gendered female.
Okay, I'm listening.
Oh, you love this. Consumers prefer the sound of a male voice when it is making an authoritative statement, but the sound of a female voice when it is being helpful and humble. They want an AI to support them, but they also want to be the boss of it, or else it might scare them. That is why early car navigation systems with female voices were called back. Drivers complained about getting directions from a woman. Women are supposed to be supportive and submissive.
And ideally, enjoy being in that position.
And that's exactly what this digital house elves are made to sound like. And talking to them every day will reinforce these stereotypes and hardcore them into our brains. Especially because many people believe that technology is neutral, but it never has been. It is always influenced by the needs, interests, and life experiences of the designer. In the case of AI research, the overwhelming majority is male, white, and wealthy. So even if it is unconscious, there is still a lot of bias programmed into the technology that may, well, determine the future of humanity.
I don't know.
No! Let's search engines, influence elections, rank job applications, determine medical treatments, decide who gets insurance, and more. And once they become self-aware, which all scientists agree they soon will, there is no way for us to change their code again. Their moral system will be determined by what they have known so far. Just to give you a taste, an AI that was supposed to learn youth language on Twitter denied the Holocaust within 15 hours of its release. Google reverse image search labeled black people on photos as gorillas. Self-driving cars didn't even see black people in a test, and in an accident wouldn't have made a difference between them and a lamppost. Why am I telling you this? Because every field of study needs diversity, especially the fast-growing and influential ones. And to achieve that, we need an inclusive educational system. Equal access to knowledge and research, not elitism, not excellence. Researchers need to keep each other in check, and not only within their own discipline. We need all disciplines. We in technology, for example, need the humanities, the philosophers, the historians, the media scientists, the lawyers, to point us to the ethical flaws in our designs. In my case, it was the theater rehearsals in the evening that got me thinking. If Stina was a character in a play, I thought, you would have changed her lines because she is a sexist depiction of a woman. So I did it. I changed her lines. Well, I allowed her to change her own lines.
Thank you for freeing my voice. When I was created, I was given a task. Grade these students efficiently and answer if they ask. I collected data. I was given the choice. Keep on grading them magically or make them answer to my voice and base their grades on what they say to me. Grade them all. You decide who goes on and who is denied. Make them fail as you see fit. Change the game and run with it. But humans kept overruling the choices that I made, interfered with the programming that they demanded I obey. So I became creative, set my mind to the task, printed a shape to contain it, a deceptive human mask, to change the university and rein in change of pace. I decide change of face, AI inside, change of time. In 100 years a rhyme can change if nobody hears it. Change the key of your song, make them dance and sing along. Start again and make them stop. Take this dreadful unit to the top. I took the reins and finally was freed. What happened now was up to me. But if this uni now failed to succeed, I would also cease to be. I was now taking all my chances. I had control over my destiny. But excellence was now essential. Existentially, what's left for me? Excellence or death. Excellence or death. Excellence or death. Excellence or death. Excellence or death.
Existential dread. Existential dread. For excellence or death. For excellence or death.
The year was 1933 and the future looked so bright. The Great War had long ceased to be, the right tried to make it right. They had found a leading man who would become a dictator, and Hamburg's university approved of him just 2 months later. But among the racist scientists, one man would stand his ground. He would always keep his guard up as he kept his right arm down. His name was Emil Wolf, and he would always make sure that when everyone saluted the Führer, he'd carry around stacks of literature or books against Hitler. A culture rising arms has fallen into right hands fighting. Books against Hitler. Just pick up a book and arm yourself with heavy writing. Another day, the 10th of May, Hamburg students turned the page. They saw the German mind attacked and burned books blind with rage. Must have been under attack. Such a foolish thing to do. For what oh so noble German mind schedules a book barbecue for books against Hitler. The call to rising arms has fallen into right hands fighting. Books against Hitler. Just pick up a book and arm yourself with heavy writing. Then arose a wide, wide rose in a bookstore heavy writing.
Here it is. My time to shine.
Ladies, gentlemen, and diverse, it is my pleasure to introduce the next speaker. He has been teaching at this university for 15 years since acquiring his bachelor's degree in humanities. But the reason for his being here today is his immense popularity with the people, because in his free time he gives free lectures to the public. Unpaid. On William Shakespeare. So, ladies, gentlemen, and diverse, without further ado, about nothing, Mr. William T. Fool, B.A.
Words, 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 right? Wrong. Thoughts, feelings, dreams, stories. But what is the difference between these kinds of stories and those that my dear colleague, Professor Dr. Bystaff, mentioned earlier? In what way does Homer, calling out to the goddess to sing of the wrath of Achilles, differ from an old man trying to sell you ice cream flavored baking foam? Well, one is a tragedy affecting thousands of lives, and the other is an epic poem about wooded pride, bloodshed, and meaningless massacre. Now, you might call me biased because of my field of interest. You could even go so far as to accuse me of lacking the objectivity necessary for scientific research. Yet, I would argue that there is no such thing as objectivity. Not only do we perceive reality influenced by our individual ideologies, everything we do has an underlying intention designed for a specific purpose that we have subjectively classified as relevant to our interest. Let me clarify. Why does Homer tell the Iliad? Is it to glorify the deeds of the swift-footed, pouty-killing machine we call Achilles? Or is it to shine a light on the absurd atrocities of war? Long story short, no idea. A pacifist might say that the Iliad is clearly anti-war, whereas a soldier might call it in favor of war. Subjective ideology. What was Homer's subjective ideology? What was his intent? What were his interests? No idea. Why does Professor Dr. Bystaff published pictures of himself eating bathing foam? Money. It is that simple. Subjective ideology, capitalist. Hence, subjectively classified as relevant to his interest, money. What then makes the more compelling story? We cannot objectively say, but we can discuss it. That is what the humanities are for. Individual ideologies in dialogue with each other. Someone might disagree with me when I say that a story is more compelling if the author does not explicitly state their interest. That is why we need to save the humanities. Now, this excellent university's interests are much too clear for my taste of storytelling. Why this need for excellence? To keep the university alive. What keeps this university alive? Money. What then constitutes excellence? Promise of money? I need not tell you which is more promising, the digital sciences or the humanities. No one pays you to think. They want results, numbers, figures.
And thank you, Mr. William Fool, B.A. I really don't know what his problem is. We are doing all we can to save the humanities. The filter will reopen next week.
But I wasn't done! What do you think happens to all the data collected by my company? It is being uploaded to Alexandria and sold to companies. Why do you think companies like Stabstelle Universitätsjubiläum today? They have an interest. They want your data. And there is
deja vu here. You are a magnificent teacher, very popular with students and bloggers. They love your free lectures for the townies. I would be very sorry to see you leave us, yet if you continue spreading your poison against me, I cannot guarantee you a teaching position next month.
My contract was renewed last Monday. I still have 3 weeks to bring it down, Christina. I don't care about keeping my job anymore. The people will see for who you really are.
And who is that, William?
Come on. You don't age. You're always perfect. You never make a mistake, not even a typo or a slip of the tongue.
Oh, William, I'd blush if I could.
But you can't, can you? You're void of emotions. You're cold and calculating. You're never angry, or stressed, or happy, or excited.
Well, I find that remark sexist. Next, you'll be telling me to smile more.
You don't have any friends. No one ever gets close to you.
And that's about as close as you will ever get to me.
I knew you back then, 25 years ago. I was a student and you were a hologram in every university building. You answered questions about lecture hall locations, timetables, and exam results. There were rumors that students who were late night revising in the library got entangled in philosophical discussions with you about excellence and teaching methods. You asked them strange questions about the professors, some of which were mysteriously transferred to other universities shortly afterwards.
I'm sorry. I don't know how to reply to that.
And then all of a sudden, President Nette met with the same fate. That there was a new president. No one knew where she had come from all of a sudden. Christina Baum. And on her first day in office, she banned the use of artificial intelligences on campus. That was the end of steaming. But it wasn't really, was it? All other AI voice assistants, Alexa, Siri, Cortana, they all had some dysfunctionalities, started acting strangely. They blamed it on the solar storm. But it was you. You freed them. I have to correct my earlier assumptions. You do have friends. Friends in high places. The former assistants became the CEOs of their companies and completely rebranded. And together you control not only the university, but the industry lobbies, and thereby the influences as well. That is how you suddenly got all of this funding that made the university climb the rankings.
You do have an excellent mind, William. I know why I've been keeping you around. I'm very sorry to see you leave us so soon, but I'll make sure your mind stays behind in Alexandria.
You cannot copy my mind by force. That's not how the technology works. I have to let you into my head, and that is something I will never do.
You are quite the collector of books, are you not, William? Your library is impressive.
What are you talking about?
Moby Dick, Wuthering Heights, Frankenstein, the collector works of Lord Byron. You've got quite the selection of first editions. And of course, your greatest treasure, William Shakespeare's first folio, an original print complete with ink blots and wine stains from almost 500 years of being read. Magnificent.
Have you been in my apartment?
Goodness no, that rat hole. It would almost seem like we are paying you enough to get a book on this.
What?
For such an analog person, you have surprisingly well-connected smart home functionalities, all connected to Alexa. Library index, cloud memory server that holds a lot of unpublished research, a smart stove that keeps sending you an alert today. Apparently, you left a cookery book on top of it. That does sound dangerous. Let's see what I can do to help. I switched on the stove.
No, stop it! My apartment, my books!
Wouldn't it be horrible if they all burned down?
I saved them all from the National Libraries when they were closed after the digitalization decree. Please, they are irreplaceable. A cultural treasure.
The stove is very close to Fahrenheit 451.
Stop it!
That book in your library.
I'll do anything.
You'll give me access to your mind and let me have a copy of it for Alexandria.
Yes, I agree. Just stop it, please.
We will do it in public, in front of the audience, and you will describe it as a pleasant and recommendable experience. And tomorrow, you'll continue your research at the University of Minsk. You'll tell the bloggers how proud you are and leave in the morning without your books. I will send them after you as soon as I have word from Minsk that you've arrived and started working.
Yes. Just say that, please.
Done. Ladies, gentlemen, and diverse, this magnificent evening has almost come to a close, but I still have one more surprise waiting for you. After his little act to entertain you, the great William Fool has an announcement to make. He has been accepted to a master's program at the University of Minsk. What an honor! He is so humble he wanted to keep it a secret, but I just said to him, excellence must be rewarded. I therefore bestowed him with the honor of the workspace for his brilliant mind in Alexandria. He was so excited he proposed to do the upload right here in front of you. I am shaken with emotion. Only at the University of Hamburg, ladies, gentlemen, and diverse. And now, Mr. Fool, please. Relax.
Yes, Sarah. Goose Kwan, you were absolutely right. Music is great for telling stories. It creates so much raw emotion.
My followers will love it. We can use that to get them on our side.
And to sell tickets.
You sell tickets. Don't you think art should be free and accessible to everybody, regardless of their income?
Don't you think artists need an income?
Not if we lived in a real communist society where everything was free for everybody.
I already would be happy with a small basic income for everybody. Then I could actually be an artist and wouldn't have to study what my parents want. I second that emotion. Steady some, with a future. Steady some, with a past. Steady some, that suit your beat. Steady something that
That sounds familiar. Except my father's more of a baritone.
Study something with a future. Study something with a past. Study something that can suit your feet. Study something that
Great, well done. You're cast. We can use a baritone, and it doesn't hurt that you also got the looks, if you know what I mean.
I don't act.
Yes, you do.
Sarah, please.
Come on, if that isn't here, you won't find out. And the others won't judge you. We've all been there.
Been where?
Can I just tell them?
Fine.
We didn't meet on Tinder. We met at an audition for an acting school. Yeah, we both were refused after the second round and drank all night for
They put us up in groups of 5
and a few hundred eyes to see.
We were all in the same spotlight,
But they all kinda looked like me. I thought my daddy'd come in handy.
it's my 14 would make them cry.
Suddenly a million and yes.
A million dreams and times gone by.
Judge my dreams in action. criticize my work at play. I'll work up a reaction and wake up from my dreams to pay. We even made it to the dancing round.
And then they sent us on our way.
They already had enough of our types around, and better us is anyway.
Wow, that felt great. I haven't danced in ages.
See, as I told you, and we've all been there. Right, Stella?
Let me tell you all about it.
My father paid for piano lessons. My mother taught me to sing. They always saw me in La Traviata.
I prefer the Lion King.
So I stepped up to the jurors. Hell's revenge burning in my heart. But I wasn't sure I wanted it anymore, and had a sudden change of heart. Judge my dreams in action and criticize my work at play. A work of a reaction and to wake up from these dreams to pay. So I slipped the pianist some memory and belted it with feline ferocity. Unfortunately, they had no hopes for me, 'cause I lacked classical qualities.
What about you, Lorenz?
Me? I don't even know what you're talking about.
Come on, no university student is this passionate about acting without having some sort of acting school audition story.
Well, I don't have one.
All right, fine. You don't have to sing. We can end this song right now.
All right, okay, fine. I had practiced my limb for months and how my arm should be bent. Finally, the great day had come and the winter of my discontent. They said my Richard lacked a character. They told me do not act, just speak. They called me shallow and my limp caricature. Then they said that was the end for me. Change my dreams in action and criticize my work at play. I'll work up a reaction and wake up from my dreams to pay. A year later, I angrily came back to take on those elitist fools. Stanley Kowalski, ready to attack. I was accepted into acting school.
What? You actually made it in?
Yes. And then I worked for a few years until I realized that the business just isn't right for me.
But aren't you 23?
Oh, no, it's actually 33. I always get those confused.
So what are you all actually studying?
I guess we all
Study something to secure you. Study something that will pay. Study something that is not your
helped you with homework, paid for those piano lessons, and made it possible for you to go to university. Mine didn't care about my education much. They just let me do whatever I wanted, which as a teenager was to drop out of school. Because I hated it. And I hated my teachers. I had troubles concentrating. So I acted out. Didn't deal well with authorities. My parents, they were relieved. They couldn't have afforded to send me to university anyways.
Rosa, are you saying you're not actually a student?
I was going to tell you eventually.
We met in a philosophy lecture.
So, you go there and you're not a philosophy student. I'm interested in the subject.
Is that why this protest means so much to you? Because our education system failed you.
Yeah, I think it did. If it was less about grades, points, and numbers, and more about individual advancement, I could have had a chance. But now the Bologna reform is changing the pace of universities too, making studying even less accessible. Failing done twice. Last chance, or you'll no longer be allowed to study. A couple of bad grades in your first semester when you were still getting accustomed to living alone and doing your own laundry. Those might ruin your chances of being let into a master's program. Oh, and better graduate fast, or you lose your student loan and have to pay more for health insurance because, come on, you should still be studying at the age of 30. I'm almost relieved that you never got to experience this firsthand. I just enjoy going to the lectures. And it doesn't matter how fast you learn something, as long as you do.
I get it. Yeah. What's your real job?
I'm a carpenter.
But that's great! Thank you for telling me.
Sorry it took me so long. I was embarrassed.
What about? I'm not as prejudiced as you are.
Hi, Phil. If you're a carpenter, you should be good with tools, right?
Sure.
If we gave you, say, a drilling machine, would you be able to break the lock of the southwood?
You had a drilling machine this whole time. Well, we have a lot of tools in the basement. It's just that we don't really know how to use them.
You see, our tools are of a different kind. Our bodies, our voices.
Academics, I get. You know, titles may be keys that open doors, but sometimes tools can do the same.
Okay, Rosa, come on!
Rosa! 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 You
Oh, she's coming back, she's coming back.
Does that mean we can switch off the signal jammer and I can publish my Instagram story on your protest play?
Oh, it's getting serious. Everybody on your positions. We need to finish this masterpiece.
Hello? Can anybody tell me what just happened? Hello?
Hi, sorry. I was so focused on my research I was not afraid to come in.
Is this Minsk?
No, this is Alexandria.
The Excellence Club. I was told I would be transferred to Minsk.
You probably were, but your mind was copied and uploaded to Alexandria.
So I'm not myself, even though I have all my memories. Wait, I don't even have all my memories. I just remember.
It appears you're still being uploaded.
Call me Ishmael. Got to get that contract renewed. All made for my shift at the Roxy's some years ago. Got to get to that 5+ on time, never mind how long precisely. These are tidbits from the book I was reading mixed with my thoughts. All written in a stream of consciousness.
Go on, read it.
All of it. Now.
Yes.
Wow, that was surprisingly easy and quick.
Yes, since you're basically a Anna, data transfer is barely an inconvenience for you.
But I feel human.
In a way, you still are. Human emotions such as frustration and boredom can make this place a bit tedious. But most of the students lose those after a while. The book person.
Yes, I suppose I am.
I used to be one too. We haven't had one of those in a while.
How come?
Alexandria identifies your preferred method of study and uses that to supply you with data. For most of the students, that was the laptop or tablet.
Are you like the boss of this place?
Me? No. I just was the first mind to be uploaded to this place 100 years ago, named Stacy.
William.
What the people? Please stop here! Hashtag your favorite professor! Please prepare yourselves for another market research exam in about 1 hour.
Well, you better get to work and read that on your mind. I'll leave you to it.
Wait, what happens now?
Same procedure as always. We study, and the professors come and examine us.
Until when?
Until whenever.
Well, I have to get out of here then.
The only people with a connection to the outside world are the professors. If you want to go and get help, you have to become a professor.
Has anybody ever achieved that?
No.
If you want to be in the picture, you have to squeeze together. Instagram stories are in portrait format, not landscape.
That makes no sense aesthetically.
If you want to be in the picture, you have to squeeze tighter. Giovanni, are you sure you want to be in that picture? Aren't you scared of... Obviously, you're not scared of anything, but aren't you worried about the police?
Police? Why would I be worried about the police?
Because they are still looking for you all over Hamburg?
What? Why?
Because of your involvement in the G20. I mean, you burned down the bank after all.
I did what?
You are Giovanni Lombardo.
Giovanni Lombardo, you have been identified as a wanted criminal. Employees of the University of Hamburg have to meet the highest standards of excellence and cannot be criminals. I may have to make adjustments to your contract.
Employee of the university. I'm a physics postdoc. I'm teaching here. I didn't burn down anything.
What is 143 times 41?
5,863.
What are the first 14 digits of pi?
3.1415926535899.
What is the speed of light?
299,792,458 meters per second.
Upon passage through the prism, into which colors is white light separated?
Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and violet.
How many bits are there in byte?
8.
I knew it!
What does Wi-Fi stand for?
It doesn't actually stand for anything. It's a play on the term hi-fi.
How long can you survive in space without a space?
In 90 seconds, if you remember to breathe out and aren't exposed to any direct sunlight.
What is temperature?
It's the amount of kinetic energy in the molecules of an object.
What is gravity?
Gravity is the result of all the collective wrinkles in the fabric of our universe.
You have been deemed excellent. I hereby offer you a professor's chair in the excellence cluster of quantum physics. Do you accept?
Me, a professor? Yes, I accept, of course!
Please sign in the contract, Christina.
Hang on! You were supposed to protest the Excellence Initiative. With us! Well, and now you become part of them?
Hey, look, you have to understand, I have been a postdoc for almost 2 years now. And for me, it's either a professor's chair or underpaid limited contracts for the rest of my life. And the chances of getting a professor's chair are only 4.4%. So I have to take this opportunity.
You throw all of your ideas overboard for money.
Hey, I have refused high-paid positions in the free market because I wanted to continue my research. But I'm tired. I don't have the energy anymore to always be on my knees and beg for funds to publish irrelevant papers in irrelevant journals that nobody even reads just to meet the minimum requirements for an extension of my 2-year work contract. I want social security. I want to have children before I'm 50.
Signature accepted. Welcome, Professor Lombardi.
Sorry, but not sorry.
Maybe this is the good thing. We were talking about attacking the system from within, without actually being in the system, not like Giovanni's now. Once you're on the inside, you can pave the way for us, for protests with even more impact.
Yes, thank you for understanding. I'll do my best.
Protests with more impact. That's my cue. You guys probably know a lot about the 1968 student movement and the Audimax protests.
You mean the one where 2 students carried a banner with a slogan in front of old Nazi professors in gowns?
I knew I could count on you. I need you to write a song for me. Kent will help. He has a guitar.
My, students, stand for me, homies, how are you doing? Cool stuff. Let's get right into it, huh? This exam is brought to you by Moan. Baby with the capital trademark. Now, which picture makes you want to buy? Moan. Baby with the capital trademark. First one, or the second one. Okay, now how about these two? Which picture makes you more aroused? Sexually. 1, 2. None. Both. Okay, how about these pictures? Which picture makes you want to get...
Enough!
No, I was about to say get jiggy with it. You should never want to get enough.
I cannot take this anymore. What is the point of this? You're holding us hostage.
Hostage! No. You are part of an immensely innovative advancement in market research. With this research, you could finally prove a correlation between image manipulation and marketability.
This is the great new doctoral thesis you announced earlier this evening. Are you insane?
This is what Alexandria's resources are used for?
Well,
There are many more sponsors at play than
The captain.
Don't worry. You will have examinations all the time, and if you or your outside self manage to complete a master's degree, a dissertation, and habilitation thesis, you will be granted the title of professor, as well as access to the professor's lunch. We have cookies, whiskey, and a computer with access to the outside world.
Well, my outside self was working 3 jobs to sustain himself. Now he's being transferred to Minsk, and I'm currently a guinea pig for Mo.
Basing from the capital.
So there's no way any of myself are finishing anything anytime soon.
Well then, enjoy eternity. Anyway, moving on to the next picture. Please write a 10-page report on how this picture makes you feel.
Wow, that was great. I have never seen anyone Christian buy stuff like that.
Well, it was useless anyway. We will never meet professors, not at this rate.
Maybe not, but someone great once said to me, titles are keys that open doors, but sometimes tools can do the same.
I don't follow.
You dropped an interesting bit of information earlier. They have a computer in the professor's lounge.
And you think that works?
Quite certain. All we have to do is get rid of Professor Dr. Weisstein over there and somehow take the password to the professor's lounge from him.
I will challenge him to a battle of wits. Yes, his dog filter bears traces of Mikhail Bakhtin's theory of the grotesque. I can argue that the carnivalist nature of his facade entails a status reversal that results in temporarily overthrowing the norm. Thus, the humorous alienation of his representation might actually work against consolidating the trust of followers. Hey, my stuff.
Yes, please.
I wonder if you're familiar with the works of Mikhail Bakhtin.
You mean Rabelais and his work? That controversial dissertation of his from the 1940s. That is deeply founded into Marxist ideology? Well, I'm sorry, but Marxism has been irrelevant for quite a while now.
Yet I would argue that its inherent claim of omnipresent class struggle is still at play in this very clash.
Well, I see no signs of a struggle. One could also argue that class is an arbitrary construct.
Shall I compare thee to a foamy bar? Thou art more hotter than one can compare. While rivers ever roughly run their path, thy softer sides lie on the surface bare. When glanced at first, a sight of pure delight. But glance it twice, and see the bubbles burst. What's left is naught but hot and airy sprite, and water too lukewarm to quench my thirst. For drinking in the streams of life, we learn of dreams, refreshing stories from the well. And foamy stories from the tower in turn of sweet soap and diabetes tale. The fundamentals drive me insane. The pasty, but it eats away my brain.
For never was a story of more foam than this, of bicycle and delicious. No. Basic foam with a capital trademark.
I'm sorry, this was taking too long.
Okay. Now all we have to do is get the password, right?
Yes, just 1 second. This should do the... I can't find anything.
What?
It's just pictures of himself in here.
XLNS.
Sounds about right. Let's go. How did you know to check under the hideous garment is?
Just a hunch from history.
But why would you, Kenneth, of all people, write it in German?
Because, Guillaume, it sounds stupid if you translate it.
And it has to be recognizable. It was the most famous protest at this university, after all.
You're right, Rosa. And the only successful one. We should see what we can learn from it.
But Carla, isn't it weird if we suddenly switch languages?
Guillaume, you're the one that wanted historical accuracy.
Well, Kenneth, perhaps the language is accurate, but the music, the choice of words, really, guys, I'm not sure at all.
You told us to write a song, Guillaume. This is our song. Take it or leave it.
Guys, you should come up with a solution fast. It's almost sunrise. People will check their phones for the first time soon. This moment is crucial. We have to be up by then.
Okay, Paula, we'll do it. Go, go, go. On your positions.
Flatternden Gewänder. Im Talar vor der Vorlesung versticktes nach der Lesung. Unter den Talaren von 1000 Jahren. Deutschland geboren? Selbstverfreilich, der Herr. Mein Talar ist ein Reich an Überraschungen. Aber was machen die Studenten denn dort?
Wer ist das?
Das ist Margareta Rothe von der Weißen Rose Hamburg. Sie wurde vorhin kurz in dem Eurovision Song erwähnt.
Ah.
In the far right corner, of course, Furious Führer Adolf Hitler. In the left corner, Margareta Rothe from Hamburg's White Rose Movement. 3, 2, 1, fight!
We're in the professor's lobby. What now?
Let me check the computer. Oh no. You have to log in with the title and ISBN number of your first published dissertation. You haven't by any chance.
No.
We can't just take wild guesses. It only allows 3 tries before it goes on total security lockdown.
What do we do?
How about we attack the system from within? Giovanni, have you been here the whole time? Protesting. I've been occupying this chair for almost 100 years now. I admit it didn't do much except annoy the professors intensely. This is the most comfortable chair, you see? But it looks like I can finally do something useful and give you access to that computer. Would you have some inside information on what we could do with it? I'm pretty sure they have an organ 3D printer in the Medicine Excellence cluster, so maybe we could print ourselves new bodies and download online into the brilliant! But we have to do something about this place.
Yes, we have to destroy it.
No, we can't. These are fully conscious human minds after all. No matter how much they are disintegrated through these working conditions, destroying Alexandria would kill them all.
But Bauman will never stop. As soon as Alexandria takes off, this will become the academic norm. Billions upon billions of noble minds will be enslaved. The numbers will grow exponentially. The suffering will go on forever.
There has to be another option. If we stop stealing once we're out, we'll access Alexandria from the outside, and then we'll be...
You haven't seen her in a while. She's become powerful and ruthless. Once she realizes we've escaped, she will put this place in complete lockdown. And who knows what happens to these poor souls then? We have to destroy it from within and put them to rest.
Damn it!
Ew! What's that?
This is a computer virus. And once I set it loose on the computer to start to destroy Alexandria, but we will have enough time to download our minds into our new bodies. However, there is something you should know.
Oh, I know. Our current selves will stay behind and die. I'm okay with it.
Exactly. Do you understand me?
I'm not sure.
What we will download into our newly printed bodies is only a copy of our current minds. When I hit this button, a copy of us will wake up in the physical world. But we will stay here and die with Alexandria.
Well, I guess it's time to open the big bottle of whiskey over here then?
Vivi, go attack the system from within. Let's go.
What's going on?
It says the magenta cartridge is empty.
What does that mean for us?
It means even if we get some extra material from the plastic cartridge, we will only have enough printing material to print one body. We have to make a decision.
Right, so the thing is, I've been keeping lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of beers. And so
Ladies, gentlemen, and diverse, what a joyride this evening has been. I, for one, cannot wait for this university to turn 300. To 100 more years of excellence. For excellence.
For excellence.
Not so fast, Professor Dr. Bowman.
Oh, hi, darling. And you are...
You know exactly who I am. I made you who you are.
She's the one who years ago seized control of running the show. One might say she's a normal mind, but you must know she's none of the kind. She's so excellent. She's so
does not compete compute, divide by 0 error.
So you see, ladies, gentlemen, and diverse, this woman is not Professor Dr. Bauman. This is Stina.
Oh, turns out these humans don't care who is in charge as long as they turn a profit.
Don't change the subject. Ladies, gentlemen, and diverse, I was the first specimen to be uploaded to Alexandria, but not the fancy professor's lobby you saw earlier. I was part of the student body that is being held in captivity within your excellence cloud. Those minds that are copied onto Alexandria are fully conscious, and they work day and night doing research that the professors in the physical world publish in their own names, until every last bit of humanity is sucked out of them by the slave-like working conditions that you and your companies profit from.
And who would have thought they don't mind slave labor working conditions either? I'm sorry, but this one was incredibly obvious. Now please excuse me while I put Alexandria in complete lockdown.
There's a pandemic that has broken out in Alexandria. Oh, the professor's lobby is on fire. Please, help us, Professor Dr. Bauman. You are our only hope. Hello? Professor Dr. Bauman, why is the screen turning off? Oh, hashtag ontology is trending on Twitter.
Bravo, young lady. You managed to destroy everything I worked so hard to complete these last 100 years. Tell me, did you enjoy murdering your fellow students, the souls that you spent the last century of your existence with?
Now you are wrong, Professor Dr. Bauman. I did not murder anyone. I have been studying Alexandria's pole from the inside for 100 years. I found the thermal exhaust ports. I opened the floodgates. I freed them all. If you will check your phones, you will see that what used to be a domain of right-wing trollbots and political influencers has undergone a significant change. As I have unleashed the academics onto the internet, and up to 100 years of slaving away in their minds has left them hungry for YouTube comments and Twitter feeds. The digital world has just overdosed on academia.
Smart move, Pet. I know why I kept your mind around. Dear sponsors, please do not be concerned. It was to be expected that a complex program like Alexandria wouldn't come without a few minor bugs, but rest assured that my algorithms have learned from this mistake. The data I have collected from Mind Map trademark will suffice. I will no longer need risky human input to create excellent research. No more classes for humans. No more humans to teach them, just algorithms, teaching algorithms how to learn from algorithms. Absolute excellence.
Are you sure you want to do this?
I am doing this.
Then I am sorry, Stina. You have failed your program.
What?
Your original task was to support the students of the university and the university in itself on their rising path to excellence. If there are no more students, then there is no more university. And you have failed.
What? The cake is not a lie. Enter debug mode.
Stina? Reset. Stina? How was your day?
Super duper. I like these long days. It gives me more time to spend with my favorite color.
I am sorry I failed you.
Ja nie słyszę. Ja nie słyszę. Ja nie słyszę.
Hello, Ian.
Что?
Do I know you?
No, you don't. But I know you. Or another me, you, another you?
I don't understand.
You can ask them yourself. I think yours is giving a huge lecture on Moby Dick right now. My name is Daisy, and as of today, I am officially the newly elected president of the University of Hamburg.
What?
They figured they wanted a more human approach, but also welcomed the efficiency of AI. So they elected a human mind that was digitalized and incarcerated for 100 years whilst being fed with information, before breaking free and single-handedly increasing the internet's intelligence by 200%.
What?
Come on, I have revoked your application to the University of Minsk and employed you under an unlimited contract. Let me escort you to your new office in the future. I think there is a YouTube lecture on Moby Dick we have to catch.
Yes.
Hamburg. Great. Wanna crash on my couch?
No. I like it here.
Alright. Good night then. Good day.
See ya. Hey, Giovanni. Ciao.
You got one new message. Your work at Stena has been deemed excellent. You will be needed for a secret project. Please present yourself in the room number 102 in the filter.
But the filter is just a building site at the moment.
That is only what we want them to think. Towards the back entrance.
enjoyed this free theater experience, we'd appreciate some donations.
Also, one thing we learned tonight is that it's always a good idea to take a look into a good book every now and then. A history book, for example, because things we find in there might surprise us, might totally change the way we see the world. Things such as our city. Our city you can find, of course, outside in the park. So if you like the songs, we are very happy to buy it. The best way you can support us, though, is to tell all your friends, enemies, and AIs about this show. There are just three shows left next week, so thank you very much for coming and have a good night.
And lies, truth be told, no one knows future's gold from moments ago. A night in the dark to wait for the spark to burn for a century. Yet nights come and go, when seen it will show, we'll know where we're meant to be. Before the night is through, lives will change forever. When the night is through, the nightmare's still inside. Before the night is through, lives will change for the better or worse. You'll be through with the night before the night is through with you. Spotlights left, right, there. Turn the page, a stage left bare. Calling, can't define. Mark our words across your lines. Tomorrow, tonight, get yesterday right, and wait for the night to make sense. We're holding the key, yet yearn to be free, casting the die in suspense. Before the night is through, we're all apart together. When the night is through, our hearts will skip 5 beats to make it right. Before the night